Florida Department of Health, in partnership with the governor, is going to be working to end all vaccine mandates in Florida law. All of them. All of them. All of them.
En su cocina de Miami, Paola no para de escuchar el discurso del doctor Joseph Ladapo.
They don't have the right to tell you what your kids have to put in your body. They do not have the right. Do not give it to them. And we're going to be starting that here in Florida.
El 3 de septiembre de 2025, el director general de Servicios Sanitarios de Florida, principal autoridad sanitaria de este estado ultraconservador, anuncia el levantamiento de la obligación de vacunación en las escuelas. Por supuesto, Paola no cree que deba vacunar a sus dos hijos para que asistan a la escuela.
¿Sí me entiendes cuál es?
Para esta madre de familia es un alivio.
When I first heard the news, I was really happy, especially for kids. That's what I felt like a relief for kids. I'm not an anti-vaxxer person. I believe that everybody needs to do their own homework and get informed. So I'm not telling do not vaccinate your kids because my own kids are vaccinated, but they have just some vaccines. So this is my supplement cabinet, so I take a lot.
A esta madre hispana ya no le interesa mucho la política, pero no confía en las vacunas desde la pandemia de la COVID-19. Paola prefiere confiar en su medicina alternativa india.
I follow recommendations from Ayurvedic medicine. Ayurveda is the most, well-known and antique medicine and science. The phrase is let the food be your medicine. Instead of, take some paracetamol, I go for anti-inflammatory route, and it works sometimes faster than a painkiller.
So you trust that more than vaccine?
I trust more my body reactions. The way I live, my body will have more, tools to fight an infection.
La cultura del bienestar contra la verdad científica. Paola ilustra el creciente éxito de las creencias antivacunas en Estados Unidos. Y con razón. Estas creencias son promovidas en los niveles más altos del gobierno por la administración de Trump y su ministro de Sanidad. Robert Kennedy Jr. ya ha iniciado una purga dentro de su ministerio, ha detenido muchos programas de investigación de vacunas y restringido el acceso a ellas. Ha acusado a las vacunas contra todo consenso científico de causar enfermedades.
After reviewing the science and consulting top experts at NIH and FDA, HHS has determined that mRNA technology poses more risks and benefits for these respiratory viruses.
Este fervor antivacunas está impulsando a los aliados de Robert Kennedy Jr. en los estados republicanos, como el doctor Joseph Ladapo en Florida. Ese día atrajo a un público abarrotado para recibir un premio.
To give Dr. Joseph Ladapo the Courageous Courage Health Freedom Award that he so deserves.
Una bienvenida digna de una celebridad le esperaba a este cirujano general formado en Harvard y a cargo de la salud de Florida desde 2021. Su decisión de abolir la obligación de vacunación en las escuelas le otorgó ese día una medalla de libertad médica, otorgada por una organización antivacunas.
You're right, it is a spiritual war, and it is a spiritual war. And as bland and normal as people in the media, newscasters on CNN, all these guys want to make us believe that, whether it's the masking or the shutdowns that we needed to do, or whatever other measure, or the vaccines that you must take, and we have to make you take them, because otherwise the sky will fall. Whatever it is, all of those things that seem benign, make no mistake. What they are messengers for our enslavement as human beings. We've been in this fight. Go home, all right?
Con tales declaraciones, el doctor Ladapo se situó al margen de la comunidad científica. Pero esta condición de paria lo catapultó al rango de héroe, denunciante de la campaña MAHA. MAHA por Make America Healthy Again, devolverle la salud a Estados Unidos, el movimiento del ministro de Sanidad de Donald Trump, Robert Kennedy Jr.
He's phenomenal. He is phenomenal. He's looking to bring freedom to people that want to be autonomous and want to control their own life, their own health, their own body.
No vaccines.
Yes.
Yes, excellent.
No vaccines.
My daughter's 38 and she's never had a vaccine in her life. So we've been aware of the dangers of vaccines for decades and very cautious about what we do with our bodies and what we put into it.
Desde la pandemia de la COVID-19, los partidarios de Donald Trump han perdido en gran medida confianza en sus instituciones sanitarias. El 60% de los republicanos se oponen a la vacunación obligatoria. Y apenas 1 de cada 4 cree que es importante vacunar a sus hijos. Pero muchos van más allá y creen que las vacunas en realidad los han enfermado.
I'm vaccine injured. I had 2 COVID vaccines by Moderna, and I had many ramifications, all enlarged lymph nodes, that my primary doctor asked me to report it to the VAERS website, so I do have proof of that. And now I have multiple myeloma bone cancer. I will never, ever, ever touch another vaccine again.
Según un estudio a gran escala realizado por el Servicio Federal de Sanidad de Estados Unidos en 2021, las vacunas de ARNM no aumentan las muertes. Este hallazgo científico fue confirmado este año por la Caja Nacional de Seguro de Salud de Francia. Pero los damnificados por las vacunas, aquellos que creen haber sido perjudicados por una vacuna, son cada vez más visibles en Estados Unidos, hasta el punto de convertirse en todo un movimiento. Los damnificados por la vacuna ya tienen sus líderes y su podcast, como este de Dan en Orlando, que transmite a diario a decenas de miles de suscriptores.
With the last 2 weeks, we've had not just 1, but 2 different incidents of confirmation that these injuries are being caused from the vaccinations. This is a global problem. So the call to action just isn't in Florida. We are just the tip of the spear on getting these poison-pushing, big pharma communities of big business, the multi-trillion-dollar companies, to end the madness and get back to our God-given, natural, innate immune systems and being healthy as citizens in America. I've been interviewing the injured for over 5 years, and getting their stories out to me is very personal because I've lost friends from this personally. I have friends that are advocates as well that are still suffering, that need help.
And at that time, Fauci had 18 different...
Las personas afectadas por las vacunas, que antes se consideraban marginales, han recibido un apoyo significativo de la Casa Blanca durante el último año. El ministro de Sanidad de Donald Trump, Robert Kennedy Jr., está trabajando en una legislación para compensar a los estadounidenses que creen que les ha afectado alguna vacuna.
For over 20 years, he's been in the battlefields fighting for the injured. So absolutely ecstatic that MAHA and his movement was put in there.
Dan no se conforma con presentar su podcast sobre los damnificados por las vacunas, sino que se ha embarcado en una actividad nueva. Este exvendedor de productos farmacéuticos ahora ofrece curar a los estadounidenses que creen que han sido envenenados por la vacuna de ARN mensajero contra la COVID-19.
We're going to pick up one of our patients currently to get her therapy. She can't drive. Part of her chronic illness and inflammation, it makes her hard to be able to drive, so that's why we have to pick her up. She's right here. She's waiting. Hi, let's go.
Dude, it's been a minute. Oh, so good to see you.
Come on.
Good to see you.
Esta jubilada de Orlando está convencida de que se infectó por la vacuna.
Thank you.
Sin embargo, nunca se ha vacunado. Deshi piensa que se infectó de forma pasiva a través del contacto con su vecino, que se había vacunado contra la COVID-19.
Exposures that did affect me day to day once I was exposed. It comes out in the ways that someone expels, through their breath, through their aerosols, through, and Dan chime in anywhere, through their sweat, just different exposures to, I guess, bodily fluids type of thing.
Para curar a pacientes como Deshi del veneno que cree que padece, Dan ha desarrollado una terapia láser destinada a limpiar el cuerpo de los efectos adversos de la vacuna.
So, you know, a lot of our patients that we deal with have these issues of not only the chronic inflammation, but the stomach issues. Have you had any of those lately? Oh, you're done. You're good.
Sorry. A little bit, for sure.
Tell you what, since you've not been here for a little while, we're going to go ahead and do the glasses too. Sweet. 3 things that cold laser therapy was approved for originally about a decade ago in America was decreased inflammation, increased circulation, and decreased pain. And essentially that's all 3 things that almost every patient that's dealing with vaccine injury are currently dealing with. All right, well, therapy started. Go ahead and relax.
Dan ha abierto su propia clínica antivacunas en Orlando. Sin ser médico ni enfermero, atiende a media docena de pacientes al día a un precio de entre 200 y 400 euros la sesión.
How was the nap? All right, we're going to move to actually treating the brain. This is probably the most favorite part of every patient that I know. Treating the brain. This is part of what helped me get back from my strokes, from my diagnosis of early stages of Alzheimer's and CTE. So we treat occipital and frontal. And let there be light. Genesis chapter 1, verse 3. And there was.
Al igual que esta jubilada, una parte de Estados Unidos ahora cree con firmeza que las instituciones de sanidad públicas que autorizaron las vacunas en realidad quieren hacerles daño. Algunos incluso ven a la CDC, la Agencia Federal de Salud, como el enemigo que debe ser derrotado, en sentido literal. El 8 de agosto de 2025, en Atlanta, la sede nacional de la CDC fue atacada por un hombre de 30 años armado con un rifle de asalto. Era un individuo damnificado por la vacuna, convencido de haber sido envenenado por la vacuna contra la COVID-19. Más de 500 impactos de bala perforaron la fachada del edificio. Un policía murió y miles de profesionales sanitarios siguen muy traumatizados, como el doctor Dimitri Daskalakis. Algunas balas perforaron su despacho.
500 shots shot into CDC, my office being one of them. I wasn't there that day because I had surgery, but I sure dealt with it that day because I had to call my staff that were hiding in conference rooms. Hiding in conference rooms because they were scared that they were getting shot at, because they were shot at for 20 minutes. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. came to visit and he gave us thoughts and prayers and then immediately left and went to a news segment and said, don't trust experts. He's responsible for the environment that allowed for that shooting to happen.
El doctor Dimitri Daskalakis es uno de los epidemiólogos más reconocidos de los Estados Unidos. Hasta el pasado agosto, dirigió la política de vacunación del país en la CDC. Pero cuando las reformas de Robert Kennedy Jr. optaron por ir en contra de sus datos científicos, el doctor Daskalakis decidió dimitir. A finales de agosto, fue escoltado hacia la salida entre los aplausos de sus antiguos compañeros, que le reservaron una guardia de honor. Unas horas antes, para dar la alarma, había publicado su carta de renuncia en redes sociales.
Enough is enough. I am unable to serve in an environment that treats CDC as a tool to generate policies and materials that do not reflect scientific reality and are designated to hurt rather than to improve the public's health. I feel like there is a vast literature of conspiracy that's being created. Unfortunately, like one of the reasons I resigned was that people who hold those conspiracies are now in charge of vaccine policy recommendations for the United States. There is a whole narrative that the mRNA vaccine is contaminated by DNA and it somehow changes your genes. That is untrue. There has not been a surge in cancer. Like, that has not been related to mRNA vaccines. Like, it's just not true. It is what happens when your Secretary of Health elevates conspiracy theorists to the place of prominence.
Según el doctor Daskalakis, lo peor está por venir en términos de sanidad pública en Estados Unidos.
We're going into the dark ages of public health, right? We've had the golden age where we controlled HIV. We have, controlled vaccine preventable diseases. Tuberculosis is something that you see mainly because of people who are, bringing it from other countries. The foundations of that golden age have cracked. And so I think that we have a few years, as long as this very specific health regime is in power, where we're going to see pretty bad outcomes. And the thing that makes me nervous is that they're going to do all of the damage right now, and a lot of the outcome will be in the next administration, whoever that is. It's going to take a little bit of time for Florida to have measles vaccination rates go down because many of the kids are already vaccinated. Give it a few years, and then you're going to see outbreaks. I think we're in trouble.
Al dimitir, el doctor Daskalakis hace una dura observación sobre el fracaso. Los científicos como él han perdido la batalla de la narrativa en Estados Unidos. No pudieron contrarrestar los ataques diarios por Internet de un ejército de falsos soldados mediáticos dedicados por completo al movimiento MAHA de Robert Kennedy Jr.
We're ready. Good morning, Patriot family. Allie's in studio today. Happy
Allie's
Friday.
In the house. We got the memo, the dark color.
Yeah,
dark MAGA today, guys. Dark MAGA.
Ali y Michelle pertenecen a este ejército mediático MAHA. Estas dos madres cuadragenarias de Florida sin ninguna formación médica son militantes pro-Trump y antivacunas. Y crearon un podcast para difundir sus convicciones y contrarrestar lo que consideran propaganda a favor de las vacunas de los medios tradicionales y las instituciones de sanidad públicas.
Many people in our country still, when they go to a pediatrician's office, feel like they're being asked to almost like they're being a bad parent because they don't want a needle put in their child's arm. Every parent out there remembers the first time you were a parent and you went into the pediatrician's office and they tell you, you know what, when you introduce solid foods, do it one at a time just to judge for any kind of allergic reaction that you may have. But yet you can jab sometimes 5, 6 different ingredients into a child's arm under the age of 3, and you're telling me that doesn't have, where's the medicine in that?
It is no longer recommended.
Como muchas madres conservadoras, Ali y Michelle comenzaron a movilizarse durante la pandemia de la COVID-19 para oponerse a las restricciones sanitarias. Luego lanzaron su podcast para dirigirse directamente a las madres de familia estadounidenses. Son las madres conservadoras del movimiento Make America Healthy Again, las MAHA mamás, como se llaman ellas.
Maha moms, Maha girls. Yeah, I like it.
Maha baddies?
Okay.
I think our Maha moms are moms getting back to old school thinking, right? We want to know what's being injected into our children. We want to know what's being put in their food. And what I love about Maha moms is that they are truly women's women. Like they take the time to educate other women.
Right.
They're not looking down and judging other
like,
women.
oh, honey, you didn't know that you had a vaccine exemption in your state, baby girl. Let me send it to you, and I'm gonna send it to you for free.
The mom network.
Like, it is amazing. I love it. I love it.
You know who the biggest marketer is?
Moms.
A mom. Whether she likes your business or she doesn't like your business, she'll make sure everybody in the neighborhood knows. So when moms caught wind of this, the veil's lifted. Largely uncensored, unfiltered, unmuted, and well, you know, what happens, we're the recipe of what happens when moms activate. It feels like Avengers assemble.
Sin embargo, incluso en un estado ultraconservador como Florida, la decisión de abolir la vacunación obligatoria en los colegios se enfrenta a una fuerte resistencia. Más del 60% de los floridanos se oponen a esta medida y se están movilizando en reuniones públicas como esta, organizada por el Ministerio de Sanidad. Ese día, Ali y Michelle condujeron 7 horas para asistir. Pero su mensaje choca con el de otro Estados Unidos que aún cree en la ciencia. Tanto profesionales de la salud como docentes y padres de familia no ocultan su preocupación por las consecuencias, ya muy visibles, de la caída de las tasas de vacunación en Florida.
Now we can open the floor to public comment.
Good morning. Thank you for hearing us out today. I'm here to talk on behalf of all the pediatricians, and I want to make this clear and loud. I want everyone to know how serious matters are. Just in the past 6 months, we've had 2 patients in the ICU with HIP. One child unfortunately succumbed at 4 months of age, no vaccines. 1 month ago, I was on call, and another patient also came into the ICU. 2.5-year-old, never vaccinated. HIP, again. Abscesses in the brain, seizures, brain dead. Quote, unquote, mother's words. Please give my child every vaccine we can. This is what we're seeing, and this is because we do have choices. I would maintain the status quo the way it is right now, but sending a message to the general public that vaccines are not important, vaccines are not needed, is not the way to do it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bertrand.
Good morning. I'm a retired teacher, and I'm also a reminder of the past. I grew up in a world without vaccines. For me, it was a common occurrence to see classmates of mine get sick and die when the vaccines came in. All of a sudden, within the months, I stopped going to funerals. I stopped going to cremations. What we are proposing here is to open that door again and create all this happen. Please, 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 think about this. This is not about us. This is about generations. What we're proposing is to go back into the dark ages. I urge you all to reconsider. Thank you.
Thank you.
And it's good to hear the parents, because the parents' voices have been drowned.
In the 1950s, thalidomide.
We're in an era where their voice is dominant. But that doesn't mean that they're the folks in the majority. It just means that their voice is the loudest. So I think that, when you look at most people in the US, most people believe that vaccines are important to prevent disease. A small minority believe that they're not and have the perspective of really no one should ever be vaccinated. And so it just means that we in science need to do better to make sure that the voice of reason and scientific data starts to overtake the voice of conspiracy.
Estados Unidos, ya muy polarizado, se ha encontrado con otra línea divisoria, entre la ciencia y la ideología, entre medicina y política. Y en esta batalla, Florida se ve a sí misma como un estado pionero, un laboratorio político, quizás precursor del futuro de Estados Unidos.